let's get acquainted. This is my first video for my personal site, just JoJo. I am a wife, a mother. I am an empty nester now. My son just graduated from college. I'm going through menopause. Or not really menopause yet. I'm in the perimenopause stages, so I'm having lots of symptoms there. Joy. And there's a lot of changes going on with me. I had some businesses that I was a photographer. Before that, I traveled the country as a salesperson for a major air conditioning manufacturer. So I have a lot of experience in the corporate world, and then I slowed things down, became a photographer, and wanted to spend more time with family, so that's why I did that. That ended up being very successful, but when you take something you love and you make it into a job, sometimes you can overwork yourself, and that's what happened with me. I just kind of got a little out of control. So let me pause right there and explain what I'm doing now. I've got some eye patches on my face, no makeup, clean face. I do this before I put on any makeup to go somewhere, just because aging skin under the eyes helps get rid of that puffiness and dark circles. So that has to stay on for 10 to 15 minutes, so I wanted to start that before I started my video. There are all kind of things on the market. I don't get paid by any of them. I'll just tell you what I use, and sometimes that can change. Right now I'm using this. It's Peter Thomas Roth 24 gold hydrogel eye patch. I got it off Amazon. Lasts for a long time. I don't know what happened to the lid. It's in the top. Let's see. Comes with a lot of them. That's what I like about it. $24, something like that. Comes with a little spatula to get them out of there. And they're nice and cool if you want to put them in the refrigerator before you put them on. Pretty awesome. Okay, so while that's sitting, I'll kind of go back to my background. So, got burnout, gained a lot of weight while I was doing photography because I was sitting behind the computer sometimes for, till midnight, 1 a.m. doing edits, and then waking up, doing it all over again, editing, shooting, editing, shooting, or shooting, editing. That wore me out, but I continued to go forward, hired some help, which was great, but being the obsessive compulsive person that I am, I took on more work. So I continued to work, doing 2 to 3 shoots a day, 5 to 6 days a week, and weddings on the weekend. Usually about once a month I'd have a wedding. That would be a 12-hour ordeal, and then hours and hours of editing after that. So even though I had help, I still did some of my own editing. I did train my help, so they edited like what my style was. Fast forward, I started CrossFit because I was having some health issues, and changed up my diet. That worked for me. I lost 70 pounds. Actually was on the thin side, which I hadn't been since I was a teenager. And when I did that, I got obsessed with that, being obsessive compulsive, and decided that I wanted to open my own business there because I am an entrepreneur. I have that entrepreneurial spirit. I like to have a business. It gives me purpose and something to do, and I like to help people. And CrossFit don't get me wrong, photography helped people. I loved seeing the joy there, but CrossFit, really, I could see transformations. I felt like I was saving people's lives by getting them in shape. And that went on for 3 years. I had a business there. And as with the fitness industry always does, it's an up and down thing. It was a constant battle to keep busy there and to have enough people to pay the bills. So what happened was Phil and I started supplementing and paying out of our own income or his income to help CrossFit Piranha out. So that has to, at some point you have to call it quits. And I'm going to do an entirely different video on being an entrepreneur and some of the pros and cons and the things that I did wrong and the things that I did right. Anyway, it came a time we said we got to close it, right? So we closed it. We made that decision. But then I'm left with an empty house. My son's gone at college. My husband's gone at work. I'm like, what do I do? Well, there was a part of me that was blissful because I got to learn some things and do some things that I hadn't done ever. And that's great. But I also became sedentary or more sedentary when I would go from doing 3 hours of being in the gym or working out or at least working with people and moving to not moving and then deciding, okay, we're just going to eat whatever we want because we've had to be on restrictions so long that now we're just, it's no holds barred. So unfortunately, we made that mistake, both Phil and I, and we have gained a ton of weight back. I would say I'm probably right back where I started when I was doing photography, and now I'm going to have to get that off. And being perimenopausal, not an easy task. So I decided to start a YouTube channel that talked about girl stuff, some of the stuff that I've went through, try to help you out, give you tips and tricks. You know, whatever y'all really want to see is what I'm going to do. I'm not here to rep or sell or anything. This is just about us and trying to help each other. So that in a nutshell is why I'm here. So let's get started. I'm going to do a makeup tutorial today because that was the first thing that I was asked. Laura asked me to do this and I thought, why not? I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes. I'm not a makeup artist. Even though I was in the photography business for a while, I did meet a lot of makeup artists, so I know of quite a few tricks. I watch Dominique Saxa, I think that's how you say her name, from Channel 2. She has a YouTube channel, and she does great makeup tips for women that are, well, of all ages, but especially that are over 40. So these are the things that are working for me. So first of all, I'm going to remove these. And you don't have to worry about wiping off what's left, but that just kind of gives you a little moisture there underneath the eye. And previous to this, I went ahead and cleaned my skin. And I don't wear makeup most days, so I just use these wipes and clean off the skin just to get whatever residual stuff is on there. All right, so the next thing I normally do, and this look is gonna be JoJo inspired. I know I'm so not JoJo. Hold please. Yes?
What's wrong? You're playing with the camera?
I'm doing a makeup video.
Oh, I'm sorry for bothering you there. I was wondering what you was wearing.
Oh my God.
No.
Okay, so first thing that I'm going to do with my little JoJo look is moisturize, because if you've noticed her skin, it's beautiful. I know she has work done. I have not. The only thing that I currently have done that is not natural on my face right now is my eyebrows have been microbladed, and I'm due for a new touch-up. So what I'm using now, I used to sell Narium, and I have a ton of stock left. This is Age Defying Day Cream, and I think that the name of the company has even changed from Narium now. It's not Narium anymore, but you have to buy this through salespeople. I use it because it's nice and light. I believe it has vitamin C in it. And it doesn't, it's not heavy. It's not a heavy cream, not a night cream. So I really like that. Again, that's the Narium Day Cream. All right. Moisturized. Now, my problem area is the under eye area. So I'm going to give that a little extra oomph before I start applying makeup. And what I do is I use a brightener cream. This one is by Becca, Under Eye Brightening Corrector. Becca Under Eye Lightening Corrector. And it's just a really light pink shimmer. And I'm going to use a little brush that I got from Tarte in a package. Oh my god, I need to clean them, but so it came with a package. Love these, but you know what? They were kind of pricey, and I saw a set of them that were very similar at Walmart. So you don't have to go to Ulta and spend a ton of money like I do. Phil loves that, by the way. Those are his two favorite stores, Ulta and Sephora. All right, so what I do is I'm going to just dab 3 little bits underneath that eye. And spread it out. And this is kind of thick. I spread it out up on top of that cheekbone too, so it kind of gives me that sparkle, and then I bring it up into the corner of my eyelid there. Got a little crusty. Anyway, I bring it up into the corner of that eyelid because I have kind of darkness right there. So there's that. And then what I'm going to do is take my little brush that I use for concealer that probably has a little bit of concealer left in it, and I'm just going to blend that in. And you may want to use less. I've got quite a bit going on right there. But by the time I put makeup on and everything, you're not going to be able to see that cream. And it's just going to give me a little bit of highlight underneath my eyeball where it likes to be dark and make you look tired and older. And it gives you that a little bit of shimmer on the cheekbone. All right, moving on. This, let's see. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to put my, what's it called? Primer. I forgot to put my primer everywhere. Normally I do that before the brightener. So see, mistake number 1. Here we go. I just put a little pea-size amount. Just kind of dab it everywhere. And you'll feel the texture of your skin change a little bit. This smooths out your skin. I'm gonna put a little more because I felt, you'll feel when you're putting it on, your hand starts to glide over your skin. So I normally do that before I do the eye brightener. This particular brand is Lorac Pore Perfection Mattening Face Primer. It's oil-free. The reason I have this is because I did have eyelash extensions on, and I didn't want anything with oil in it to make the glue loosen. So I'm going to finish this because this stuff isn't cheap, but I'll probably go back to, if I stay putting on false eyelashes, I will probably go back to something by, now I can't remember the brand. Too Faced or Urban Decay. I like those two. Those two both have primers that I like. So primers on, eye primer. Again, I have an oil-free Lorac eye primer, and I'm gonna just use that same little brush that I put the brightener on with. And dab that on my eyelid. And please, y'all, I don't do this every time I wear makeup, not all of this look. This is for going out to dinner, date night. If I was just running to the grocery store, I either will go without makeup or I will just put on some tinted moisturizer, and sometimes just a little bit of, I'll do base and do a little contouring. Okay, so I'm gonna rub that in. All right, then I like to put on my eye makeup before I put on my foundation, because if I mess up, all I've got to redo is the brightener, or I can just brush off whatever eye makeup residue is there. So for my little JoJo look, I picked up this one. It is Sugar Rush. It is by, I want to say this is Tarte. I don't, Sugar Rush, Heidi Bauer, made in China. Why is there no name on this? Wow, that's weird. Pretty sure it's Tarte. That's kind of where I gravitate to when I'm in Ulta. But look at this palette. I mean, it's got a ton, right? And even though I like to stay on the warm side of things most of the time, there's some cool, colors there, cool palette, so that when you change seasons, you can change up your makeup. So I'm going to stay on the warm side today because JLo, if you ever look, a lot of her makeup is dark eye, light lip. So that's what we're going to do today. And I'm going to go with a nice wide brush. This is a Sephora brush. And there's no number on it, but just a good wide brush. All right, then I'm gonna go in with the light color first and do the entire lid. So I'm gonna use this one. It's called Graduation. It's kind of appropriate, right? And I'm gonna go in and really be generous. All through the lid. All right, other side. And I kind of have a hooded eye. They're very squinty. So when you see girls that have these big, beautiful eyes and high brow bones, their makeup tutorials look awesome. This is just, you got to deal with what you have, right? All right, so then I'm going to go and we're going to do in the crease. I'm going to do like a kind of slightly burnt orange. It's called Always. And this just looks really good with brown eyes, I think. So, Always. So that kind of burnt orange stuff. And I'm going to use this brush. Excuse, like they're not brand new. I've been using these forever. This actually is a blending brush by Kat Von D. Oh, and I told you I frequent Sephora and Ulta. I wasn't lying. I've been frequenting them for years. They love me there. So I like to get my brush really saturated with that color and then just give it a little, blow that off so that it's not falling everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to start like right in here. And I really don't go too close to the corner of my eye, on the inner eye, because I don't want to darken that area anymore. I just lightened it up, don't want to darken it. But as you can see, I'm covering a big portion of my eyelid, and that's because, again, hooded eye. See, when I look normal and don't try to raise my eyebrows, it is very, you don't really see it a whole lot. So what works for me may not work for you. You may have to play around with this. All right, I'm gonna get the other side. Just sweeping. All right, so we have that color on there. All right, next thing I'm going to do is go in to the crease and the very top of my lid, and I'm going to do a very dark color with this kind of flat short brush that gives me the control on distribution. And this is probably from Walmart. This isn't a fancy brush, it doesn't have any name. And we're going to do Skip Day. And I'm just going to pat that in to the color and start in my crease. And then also kind of V it and blend it into the lid. I got a little there on the outside. This is why I don't put on my foundation first. So into the crease and just blending into the lid. And this I am going to take closer to the corner. So if you can see there, it's a little darker in the crease and then getting lighter because I've blended it. All right. And I'll come back and touch this up after I get eyelashes on too, which ought to be a hoot. So we're going to do this side. I sure miss my extensions. If you're like me, one side always goes better than the other too. See, I'm already liking that side better. Okay, then I'm gonna blend. I'm taking that brush that has the rust residue that I did the rest with. I'm just gonna barely tap that and skip day. Try to blend it out so there's not a harsh line. Same thing other side. Just kind of blending until you get the desired amount on there. When you're older, I always say, I think less is more. But if you're going for a glamorous look, don't be afraid to use these colors and darken up your eyes, because we're going to offset that with a pale lip. So if I was doing dark eye, dark lip, I could get away with that back in my 30s. I can't really anymore. It just doesn't work. I look like a hooker. I'm just being honest. All right. I'm not saying you look like a hooker if you do that. I'm just saying that's me. All right, so I want to go under my eye. Like I said, JoJo has, she does dark eyes. Also, another one of my favorites, Sandra Bullock. She does a dark eye, pale lip. So I kind of mimic. I find people that have similar eyes to mine, or that their style I really like, and I try and adapt it to what works for me. So I'm gonna use this thinner, more stable brush that I used for the crease. Put a little bit of that darker color and just kind of use the edge of the brush and go under the eye. Ooh. Got a little bit too much there, but I'm going to show you how to fix it. All right, so we got that. I'm going to come with this big fluffy brush. Do a little sweep and get all that extra away. And you see right here where I've gone a little too far, I'm coming back with that concealer brush, and we're gonna clean all that up because I'm gonna put concealer there, and we'll fix all that. But that kind of got that cleaned up. All right. What I do next is eyelashes. Now that I don't have the extensions, I'm going back to my old favorites, which is the Ardell Wispy. And they're a little bit too large, so I have to trim them. I normally trim them. Let's see if I can get this on camera right there. Just take a little bit, a tiny bit off of that inner corner. So it's just snip, snip. All right, now this takes practice, and I've even noticed that I'm out of practice because I've had extensions. I just used Duo. I've just found that's the best. Anything Duo glue has held up the best. And let's see, I can get this on camera. I take the glue and just get it on the very edge of that eyelash. I've tried magnetics and I just can't get those suckers on. I don't know if it's just older age and I just get the shakes and it's a mess. So if I do find some magnetics that work, even the liner, the magnetic liner, that has not stayed on for me. I tend to sweat a lot and it just doesn't work for me. So I got glue on there, and now you want to let it dry just a tiny bit and let it get tacky. Oh Lord, I've never tried to do this on camera, so have a little cheat mirror down here. Okay, that's way too far to the side. The cool thing about this, if you don't get too much glue, is you can take it off and reapply it, as you see me doing here. Well, I used to be much faster at this. I'm out of practice. Oh, crap. All right. Sorry, I gotta use my cheat mirror. And I just want to lay it right on top of the lash line. And then let it dry. All right. Okay. So let's get the second one on. And some people go ahead and put mascara on their eyelashes before they apply these, just so that they blend a little bit better. And I can still hit that with some mascara if I want, but really I don't like to do that right now because I'm letting my eyelashes recover from having extensions. I'm letting them grow back out, and I'm putting conditioner on them, or serum, to help them grow back and get stronger and longer. I really liked having extensions, and I want them again, but they are expensive, and I was having to drive to Lake Jackson every 2 weeks. So it's about $70 every 2 weeks. And I decided to give myself a little break and my pocketbook a break and go back to wearing my falsies when I go out. I really would like to find a set of magnetics though that work for me, because if they stayed on, if I could learn how to put them on, that would be even better, because you don't have glue trying to yank your eyelashes out when you take these off. Okay, so what I'm doing now is just getting the glue on the other one. I've already trimmed it. I need my cheater mirror for this. Sorry. So I like to get the outer portion placed first, and then just kind of work the lash down. And that glue's still wet. It looks kind of purple blue, but it will dry clear. They also make the glue in a black brown tone. So the closer that you can get that on your lash line, the more natural it's gonna look. This one's kind of, this eye droops a little bit. It's lower. So what I have to do there is, once these are dry, get an eyelash curler and work that. For now, while they dry, sometimes I have to use the end of a little, you can use the end of an eyelash brush. This is the end of one of those little razors that snapped off. Anyway, it kind of helps you get in there and pat it down onto the lash line so it's dry. So other than getting that one curled when it dries, those are set. So while that dries, and before we do liner, I'm going to go ahead and get foundation and the concealer on. All right. Next. Okay. I should have gone through and cleaned all these bottles before I started, because you know how they can get it. All right. I'm using for my concealer right now and my foundation, and ladies, I have done a lot of different ones until I found, and it changes as you age. Your concealer needs and your foundation needs are going to change, but what I found is right now I need something that's not too heavy but has full coverage and that doesn't sit in those creases underneath your eyes. And I've just found that Tarte face tape is amazing, and it lasts for a long time because a little goes a long way. So remember that. It comes with this wand that gets super full of product, and you don't need much, so be careful there. So I like to take some off on the edge, and we're just going to do tap 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 and then tap up there. Tap tap tap, and that's it. Now we're going to blend. So I'm going back to my Tarte brush. It's a concealer brush, so it's perfect for right under the eye. I'll get up there. in the corner and work my way out and down. It's easy to overdo this if you put too much on at once, but if you see a little spot where you need a little more, it's much easier to come back and just add a little more than it is to remove too much. So just a little tap there because that's where I'm seeing some shadow. And I'm running that edge of that brush right along the bottom lash line so it cleans up anything from the powder. Same thing other side. All right. Pretty happy with that. Done with concealer. And then we're going to go in with the foundation. This is Tarte Face Tape Double Duty Beauty. I am right now a medium neutral. And you know, Sephora and Ulta are really good at helping you match your colors. If you're not good at it yourself, all you gotta do is ask for help. But a good rule of thumb, don't put it on your hand. Your hands are always darker. Always take it a little bit. When I go in there with no makeup, get under their lighting and test it right here. And as you see, it's a little bit on the warm side for me right now because I haven't been out in the sun. But once I get all this blended in with my neck, it's gonna look fine. But you will find that from summer to winter, you have to change colors. And this one's even a little lighter than what I wear during the summer. So what I'm gonna do is go in there and just tap a little amount. A little of this goes a long way. They last forever. Well, for me, because I don't wear makeup every day, so there's that. And then Tarte has a foundation brush, which I love. This is like my best friend. So I'm just gonna drag that color and drag it all the way down my neck. Get in all the creases. Don't be afraid about getting it in your eyebrows because we're going to do eyebrows next. What I love about this is it's light and it's buildable, so if you need to put more on in certain areas, you can after it's applied. Ooh, my stomach's growling. It's 1:22 and I haven't eaten much yet, so my stomach is telling me about it. All right, so It looks pretty good. And you'll see now where we've got some highlights popping in the eye by the brow line, and then here and an under eye. I did take my foundation up to my upper cheekbone. Got a little brush hair there. Got it. I took the foundation up to the upper cheekbone and stopped about right here, just because I want to keep that area nice and light. I don't want that to look dark and make me look tired. All right, so next, eyebrows. We're getting there. All right, so my eyebrows have been microbladed, but I like to clean up the line a little bit, make them just more defined. I am using Anastasia Brow Wiz Soft Brown pencil. Now they also make a gel that I like a lot too, if you get a stiff little eyebrow brush. When I'm really getting fancy, I'll do that, but today I'm just going to use this, and we're going to go in there right underneath the brow line. A little foundation out of the way. And I like, oh Jesus, there you go, there's a mistake. Okay, I like to take it and draw a soft line on the top and on the bottom. And then I just fill it in. I let it get a little lighter there at the front of the brow, closer to the nose, and gradually get darker as we go without overdoing it. I know it's the style nowadays, but I'm not crazy about big, giant, dark eyebrows, so that's just my preference. I like it to look a little bit more natural, so that's basically all I do. Now, if I wanted to be fancy, I could go cut in there with some concealer underneath and really clean it up and make it sharper, but today I'm just going to kind of keep it a more natural look, and it's easier. So there's that. So I'm liking it. I'm trying to make me some big old eyebrows today. So soft line. And the cool thing about microblading, I don't have hair from, well, I have a little bit, but just very sparse. But basically from here out, there's no hair. So what you're seeing there is what's left of my microblading. Now it has gotten a little bit better because I'm better at shaping them. And I'm taking collagen, and I think that's really helping them grow. And I wiped off some of my foundation there. I'll have to go back and touch up, but I went out of the lines again. So I'm just doing the same thing here, filling in, very light stroke, nothing harsh. And there. So to fix where you messed up, another reason why I love these Tarte brushes is they have this little thin guy right here, and I can go in and take a tiny bit of concealer or even of foundation, probably should do foundation or to be too light. So I'm just going to take the residue off of the spout. So it's very little. And go in there and fill. So I just drew a line along my brow, the top of my brow with the foundation, and I'm just sweeping up very light. And you can clean up places that you've missed. I love this brush. I'm gonna do the same thing over here. There. Brows are done. All right, what's next? Okay, eyelashes are pretty dry. Let me check those puppies out in the mirror. Ooh. All right. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of contouring next. So with my weight gain, it has made my face a lot puffier, wider. It's also my lady time of the month, so it's probably not the best time to do a makeup tutorial, but you know. Yes, I'm still getting periods, though sporadic. This is Anastasia contour kit, light to medium. I know the box looks crazy old, but it's not really that old. They last a long time. What I do is I take a brush by Kat Von D, and this was her contouring brush. One's angled and one's round. I'm going to take that angled side and I'm going to run it across these three colors, starting with the one where you see I've used more of because it's darker. I'm just going to run it across those three colors, get the brush full, and we're going to find the hollow of our cheek. So right in here, and I'm going to go from that hairline, bringing it down to right under the top of your cheekbone. Go in with some more. Don't be afraid to get kind of dark on this because we're going to come through and finish this off and blend it. So you can see, contour that cheek. It's already giving me some definition here, making my cheekbone look nice and high. Then I'm going to come in and do the other side. Same thing. Got a little low on that side. Okay. All right, I know it's dark. Just stick with me here. We're gonna do the same thing. This is to slim up your face. So I'm gonna go down my jawline here and under my chin, which is a little flappy right in there. So we're gonna go under the chin. Down the other side, and then you want to bring that down your neck so you don't have a line. I even bring it onto, what's that called, the decoupage or something like that, right here. I'm sure that's totally wrong. Okay, so just blending there. All right. Sometimes I do my nose, sometimes I don't. I'm gonna go ahead and do the nose. That's where people oftentimes screw up. I like to make my nose look a little thinner because I don't like how it flares out here at the bottom. So I'm going to take this brush, which is another contour brush. This one by Cover FX. You can see it's got kind of a cross between an angle and round brush and then a tiny brush. So I'm going to take that angled brush just because I don't like harsh lines on my nose, and I'm going to go right into that darker color. Don't say, oh my god, I'm going to friggin' blend all this in. I know it look like we're putting on Indian war paint right at first. So I'm going to take that down the side of my nose, and you can see I'm coming down up on top of my nose a little bit, and even getting around my nostrils. And then I'm going to take and do the same thing other side. Kind of stopping right there where it's even with the corner of your eye. Okay, so that's prior to blending, right? And then we're going to go back with that Kat Von D brush, that round side, and I'm going to pick up some of this yellowish color, right? And we're going to go underneath, in between where you did the contouring on the jawline. And that just gives it a little pop. Right? And then we're going to do that down the center of the nose and then into the shading so that it blends. You may even find that you need to go back and so it doesn't look like you rubbed your nose in something. Kind of blend in with that dark. And again with the round side, brushing off a little bit and blending in so it's not too pronounced. I mean, hopefully you don't look at me and go, oh my god, she contoured her nose, she looks like she's got Indian war paint on. So I'm done with that palette. Now's where I go in and do a little JoJo. Tarte. It's called Tarteist Pro Glow. And I love, love, love this palette. It has blushes and it has some darker colors that you could actually use for contouring. But it kind of gives you that little beachy, like you've been in the sun, like JoJo. So we're going to go here with that kind of bronzy color, and here's where I'm going to work it into my forehead. Now I have a pretty large forehead and no bangs, so I like to kind of be liberal there and go in the corners, brushing up into my hairline. So see, and we've got a highlight kind of in the middle. It's made my forehead look smaller. Hopefully it made my face look smaller. I think it does, right? And then I'm just going to take what's left on my brush and brush it across the top of my nose. And this has a little shimmer to it, so it gives you that little JoJo shimmer, right? And now I'm going to do a little shimmer on the cheek. With this brush. And we're going to go in and get that light color right there. It's kind of a champagne color. And we're going to brush it across where we want to highlight. Top of the cheekbone. I put a little across the top of my nose, the bow of my lip, and brow line. This is what really gives you that little JoJo shimmer, right? Okay, we're getting there. And I don't use any blush when I'm going for this because, well, I usually don't anyway. And I just looked in my other mirror and that contouring is kind of dark, so I'm going to go in with that rounded brush. I'm not even dipping it in. I'm just going to blend it a little bit better. All right. If you wanted to, you could pop the cheek. I'm going to pop the cheek with a little bit of blush, even though I said I wasn't. I'm going to take that peachy color, the blush brush, and go in the apple of the cheek and brush up. Just a little tiny pop. Okay. All right. Eyelashes. Just gonna very lightly. You could do this prior to applying too, but as you see, that gives my eye a little lift on the side there where I'm a little droopy. Same thing other side. Well, my eyelashes are not wanting to stick today. And we can do the lip while that's drying. Now, I don't have my light. I don't know what happened to my light lip pencil. It's missing. I don't know where I put it. So I'm just gonna do lipstick, but normally I would line the lip with a light pencil that matches my lipstick shade. But since I don't have that, I'm going to take one of these little, this is called Fake Awake, and it's really for around the eyeballs. And I am going to line the very edge of my lip, just because I'm older and you have those little tiny wrinkles there. And this will keep the lipstick from bleeding. And it's shocking. I need to moisturize my lips too. They are dry. Okay, it's lined right. Looks like crap. We're gonna take our concealer brush and blend that. And the only reason I'm doing this again is because I don't have a lighter pencil to match my lipstick shade. Okay, so there's a couple of colors I like. Where is my makeup bag? And I normally do a combo. This one's Tarte, and it is Lippy Lingerie by Tarte, and it goes on really smooth. I like it a lot, but it does come off. So, in the color, I can't tell what the color is. Whisper. Lippy Lingerie by Tarte in Whisper. And then this is Anastasia. And it is... Gotta get the glasses for this one, girls. Ooh, and they're dirty. This one is Crush. Anastasia liquid lipstick in Crush. Okay. I'm going to use this one first because this one is supposed to be a long wear. It doesn't really stay on long, like 24 hours or 12 hours. You might have to retouch. But we're just going to go in there. And I like to start at the bow of the lip and kind of outline the lip first. And fill in. You see, this is a little drier. That's why I'm gonna put something on top, this other color on top. So now I'm gonna go with that. I'm letting that dry just a tiny bit. I'm gonna go with that Whisper by Tarte. Lippy Lingerie. They're very close in color, but it's just a little bit more moisture. All right. Okay, typically I would blot, but I don't have a Kleenex, so to give it that little JoJo glow, we are going to use Anastasia. This is Freya, Freya lip gloss, Freya. It's kind of a gold glimmer, and we're gonna use this to just fill it on the bottom and blend it, and then you can brush a little into the bow of the lip. You can go a little bit outside the line on the top to give you that little glow, but that kind of gives you those kissable shiny lips, and it's moisturizing. I always throw this one in my purse and this one in my purse, so that when I need to do a touch-up after dinner or whatever, I can do that. All right, finishing up. This is my tried and true liquid black liner by L'Oreal, telescopic. Telescopic waterproof. Now I can't use this when I've got extensions on because you would take off your extensions trying to get this off. This is all day. This will be on there until you take it off with some oil. So I'm going to line the top of my lash. And I have to have my cheater mirror for this one. I'm going to start at the inner corner. And go right across the top of my eyelash to hide that eyelash, and I'm just gonna come out with a tiny little cat eye wing. All right. Everyone's eyes are different. If you have big wide eyes, you can go with a bolder cat eye, but I like to just do a tiny little cat eye there to follow the lash up and bring my eye up. Same thing. Oh, that eyelash is not sticking. And same thing. So I went across the top of the eyelash and then just came back out with that cat eye tiny little wing. I can't go crazy on the wings because of a hooded eye. It makes it look just doesn't look right. I'm jealous of girls who can do big giant cat eyes. It's my favorite way to wear liner. Okay, I am, because we are going for that dark eye, going to line the bottom lash line as well on this look. But typically, just for a day look, I don't line the bottom of my eye or put any makeup there, because I already have squinted eyes and I don't want to make them more squinty. So we've got that. And then while it's still a little wet, I'm going to take the brush that I used for the makeup and blend that liner a little bit so it's not so harsh. And that's pretty much it. And I know that took me a long time. As you get more used to it, you know, it goes faster. Definitely would go faster if I wasn't trying to do a video with it. So, hope you enjoyed that. Please leave me suggestions on what you would like for me to do next. I think we're gonna make a blanket, do a hand knit blanket. I've got a hair somewhere. So we're gonna do that next. And, you know, really the sky's the limit. Whatever y'all want me to do or talk about, I will be glad to do that for you. I think it's going to be fun. Now I got to go edit this so that you can watch it. And I think that's it. I'm going to go get some lunch because my stomach is growling. So y'all have a incredibly blessed day. Try this. Let me know how it goes. I'd like to see your results. It's taken a lot of practice to learn some of this stuff. I certainly didn't wear that much makeup before. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to set it. The most important thing. Jeez. Okay. All Nighter by Urban Decay. I'm just gonna go in an X. So down and down the other side. And I'm going to just give a little extra. There we go. That's my JoJo look for over 40. All right. Have a good one. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.